Hello, first-time home buyers. Stephen Mead here with Domicile Real Estate, where we are on a mission to help Southern California's renters become homeowners. So this week, I wanted to give you something extra that I thought might be helpful, and I think this kind of echoes a lot of the questions that we get from people individually. So this is something that comes up a lot. I thought what I would do is take you through a real-life example, because I think that's what's really important. You know, people will send us listings for houses, or they'll say, well, what can I get? I rent an apartment for $2,000 a month, which is pretty common in Orange County. And they ask us sort of like, how does that relate to the real world? And we've noticed there's a little bit of a disconnect. So what I've done is this week, I'm gonna walk you through two things. One is a listing, something that I would consider a very entry-level condo. This is a situation that might apply to a lot of you out there. And then the second thing I'm going to do is walk you through the finances on the backside. So let's get started. I'm going to walk you through the condo, tell you a little bit about it, and then we can go ahead and I'll walk you through the finances as well. So let me pull this up here and kind of start you guys off. So I'm going to bring out a little pointer so I can point out a couple things here. This is a very good example of what you might be looking at as an entry-level buyer. So this is a one-bedroom, one-bath. It was built in 1979, and it is for sale for under $295,000. So this is a condo that I would consider sort of an entry-level. If you are renting a one-bedroom apartment, this is sort of like the equivalent entry-level property. And it's located in San Juan, Capistrano. It's actually not too far from downtown San Juan, so you can bike, and there's a river trail also that goes down to Dana Point Harbor, San Juan Creek Trail. So overall, this is actually really kind of a cool location to be in. This is a pretty affordable price point, and I'm going to walk you through some of the details on this property specifically. So hopefully you guys can see these photos, and they come up really well for you. Move this maybe so I can see them a little bit more easily. Okay. This unit has an outdoor patio, and like it's not huge, right? I mean, it's one bedroom, one bath. It's a little over 750 square feet. It does have some outdoor space, tiled floors, and you know, here's the bedroom. It's decent sized. Bathroom with dual vanities that looks like it could use a little bit of help. I'm just going to be honest. Like, is this the ritziest one bedroom condo? It totally isn't. Do I think this place could actually be really cool for not a lot of money? Absolutely. It also has a stackable washer and dryer in the unit. And I think that's a really big deal to be able to have that. So that's a huge improvement over a lot of the other condos in this price range. If we go towards the outside here, there's dining area. We have a pool area. The other thing about this condo that I think is really unique, and let me see if I can find it down here. It has a one-car detached garage. That's really unusual at this price point to be able to get that garage type space. So, you know, the other thing too, before we kind of move on to the finances, is that the association pays for the water and trash. It also says insurance, but you will have to carry interior insurance too on this property. So, you know, this really kind of offers a lot for your money. And now we can go ahead, and I'm gonna switch gears here, and I'm going to show you some of the finances behind this. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about our assumptions. If you have very specific questions about what this would look like with your scenario, I can go ahead and answer those too for you. All you have to do is type them in the comments, and we'll see what we can do, or send us an individual message. So now I'm going to go over these finances really quick here and kind of some assumptions. This is a tool that we developed internally here to kind of help understand costs and things like that. And again, I'm going to get out a pointer here so that I can spotlight and point out a couple things for you. So over here, we're talking about our prospective property. We have our price, closing costs, which would be approximately $8,000, property tax rate, insurance rate. Because this is a condo, it's much cheaper for the insurance, and the association fee for this one is $333 a month. Over here on our mortgage side, we have a loan amount of $282.50, and that is 95%. So we're basing this on a 5% down conventional loan, which is very common. Our rate is 3.625%, and it is 360 months, which is a 30-year loan. You'll notice down here we have something called second mortgage, and it's not really a second mortgage. This is approximating the cost of mortgage insurance. Mortgage insurance is something that you need to buy when you're putting less than 20% down, as we are doing here. So the rate for this is 0.38%. And this is assuming a credit score of 760 plus. So, I mean, this is admittedly for somebody who's well qualified. We have a couple of other little economic items here, like your marginal income tax rate, how much you're currently paying on rent. We actually have someone who approached us this week. This is exactly what they're paying on rent. Property appreciation rate and rental increase rate. So the way to kind of look at these is, what is the rate that properties are going up in value? And then also, if you don't do anything, if you stay a renter, how fast is rent rising? I like to just put in inflationary type numbers for these. I think that's kind of the safest, most reasonable way to do it. So now we're going to kind of go through and we're going to go to what I call the cost worksheet down here. And we can kind of add things up pretty clearly, right? And pretty easily. So $1,278 is your first mortgage payment. $89 is that mortgage insurance. $307 in property taxes, $25 insurance, and then our association fees for a grand total of $2,032 a month. And actually, this is pretty good, right? Because if you're paying close to $2,000 a month for an apartment, this is moving straight across for you. This isn't really changing very much about your finances. But I want to talk about the real secret here, and that is talking about over here in this equity buildup tab. And if you watch a lot of my videos, you've noticed something that I like to harp on people. In fact, I'm going to go off the screen share because this is really important. When you buy a home, I think most people focus on the here and the now, right? They're saying, right now I'm renting for this and my payment is going to be this. And while I think that's very smart to do, and I think that's important to do, that's really not telling the whole story. And the real story is your life 10 years from now, right? Like when you buy a home, you are altering your financial trajectory for you and your family if you have one. I mean, you're not just changing where you are, you're changing where you are going. And I think that's very important to remember. So we decided to kind of find a way to sort of calculate this sort of where you are going figure and calculation. And that's what I'm going to go through here. That's this long-term equity buildup. Now, let me get my little pointer back here. So, there are really two ways that you build equity when you own a home. The first method is that you are paying down the loan. Every month, a portion of your payment goes to paying off that loan. The loan balance gets smaller. And because the way mortgages work, that gets bigger as your loan goes on. So by the end of your loan, almost all of the payment is going towards principal, or monthly loan equity, as we call it. So that's one way that you earn equity in a home. The second way is the way that probably most people are more familiar with, and that is your house goes up in value, right? And again, we're sort of using an appreciation rate of 3%. This is inflation. This isn't saying 10, 20% a year. This is just being reasonable. So if we do that, we look at our annual appreciation is about $8,900, which might not seem like a lot, but when you think of how many dollars per month that is, that's huge. Then if we look down here at monthly loan equity, that's $431 to start, right? So that means that every month, if just looking at sort of these nominal figures, your monthly equity buildup is over $1,100 a month, this figure here. That's nuts. I mean, you're only paying $2,000 a month. So, a good portion of that is you're helping build wealth. This is like retirement savings. This is this sort of long-term money. You're improving your long-term financial health. And then we did a fun little chart. This is one of my favorite things I've ever made. What we're trying to compare here is, what if you didn't buy a house? What if you rented instead? And we could kind of go year by year here. So if we're looking in year one, your rent would be $21,000 a month for $1,750 a month. Your total payments are going to be $24,460, but we're going to get probably a little bit of tax savings and also this equity buildup in the first year. So guess what? Our real cost of owning this property has only been $7,400 versus $21,000 of renting. So even from year one, you're $13,629 ahead. That's a pretty big deal, right? I mean, that's life-changing. That's over $1,000 a month. So think, what could you do if you could save an extra $1,000 a month? But where the plot really thickens is, and I think I use that term, where are you in 10 years? So we're going to go to this 10-year figure here. Now, admittedly, guess what? Rent has gone up because rent doesn't stay the same. So your rent is now $27,400 a year that you're spending in rent, but your payment has gone up, but only a little bit. Property taxes and HOA fees go up, but your basic mortgage payment does not. That is a fixed rate loan. So your mortgage is now only $26,000 a year that you're spending on that. So even just looking straight across, we're suddenly ahead. We again have some tax advantages down here, but look at what's happening to that equity number. That's getting bigger. So our total ownership cost was only $4,100 by year 10 a month, or $4,100 for the year. That's huge, right? Like, I mean, that's practically living for free. And if we look in that 1 year alone, you are $23,000 ahead versus renting. But this is the real figure, the cumulative number. So all this that you've done over these 10 years, you are $191,702 ahead over 10 years. This is life-changing, folks. If your family had $200,000 of wealth after 10 years, would that not be a big deal to you? And obviously these numbers are different even when buying single family homes, but this is for a $295,000 condo. This is a starter condo. This isn't any huge investment. This is almost trading straight across for most people. Anyhow, I hope this is helpful. If you like this is something maybe we'll do in the future, but we'll kind of pick different property types and kind of do the same level of analysis. Anyhow, thanks for watching. As always, we are here for your questions, comments. If you'd like to know how to make a change in your life, as I said, it is our mission to help Southern California's renters become homeowners. We'll see you soon.